Okay, so we want you to think like an event planner. So what does that mean? Okay, well, event planning ultimately is a great fun job to have, but it's also a lot of hard work. And if we're going to actually get you to be successful event planners, you need to start thinking and acting like an event planner, and that's what this unit is all about. So what we're going to do is take some of the things that we've looked at in the previous unit and go into them in a little bit more detail. For example, organisational skills. We've already decided that that's a personality trait that's pretty important within event planning, and it's certainly one that you're going to need to have. However, what we haven't done is broken it down and looked at why it's important, how we get good organisational skills. If we don't have good organisational skills, how do we make them a little bit better? So why are good organisational skills so important? Well, for a start, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and ultimately it's going to save you a lot of stress too. So I would say that's a hugely important one. Okay, prioritising. You need to learn to be able to prioritise. The one thing that's going to happen within this particular industry is you're going to have a huge list of tasks that you're going to need to do. And what you need to be able to do with those tasks is prioritise them into some sort of an order that makes sense to you. You need to work out which ones are important and need to be done now. You need to be able to look at things objectively and say, okay, well, this doesn't really need to be done now, but it would be great if it could be. You need to be able to look at others and say, yeah, in an ideal world, I would like to have time to do this, but ultimately it's not going to happen. So you need to be able to prioritise those lists of things that you've got sat on your desk on a day-to-day basis. Okay, time management. Time management. In order to be productive, you've got to be able to manage your time. And I guess it's a very similar type of thing to prioritisation. But with time management, you need to learn to not let things interrupt you. It's very easy in these sort of days of technology to get interrupted on a regular basis. For example, it's quite common to have emails popping up at you every 5 minutes. Now, that can be really annoying, especially if you're in the middle of a brainstorming session, or you're in the middle of trying to create a concept, or you're writing the story for your next great themed event, and up pops an email that happens to catch your eye, and bang, you have completely lost your train of thought. So what you need to be able to do is prioritise and manage your time. So in other words, maybe look at doing things like email management. Set specific times of the day when you're going to look at your emails. Let's say, for example, 3 times a day you're going to look at your emails and answer them. You will find you will be so much more productive rather than stop, start, stop, start. I, generally, as a rule of thumb, will check my emails first thing in the morning when I get into the office, and I will always dedicate a good half hour, 45 minutes to answering all of my emails. I then shut it down and I don't look at it again, usually until around about midday or just after lunch. Again, after I've done that, I'll shut the system down again and I won't look at it again until just before I'm about to leave the office for the day. You'll be amazed how much time I have saved myself, because that way I don't get diverted with interesting emails that come through that I want to look at and I shouldn't really be looking at because they're not really important. So time management is huge. Phone management needs to be treated in the same sort of way as email management. You want to designate certain times of the day when you're going to answer your phone, certain times of the day when you're going to get back to people. Now, I know that sounds funny saying that you're not going to answer your phone all of the time, but believe you me, phone interruption can be just as bad, if not worse, than email interruption. So what else do we need to look at? To-do lists. I live my life by to-do lists. I have to-do lists all over the place. I have them on my computer, I have them on my fridge door, I have them on the back of the toilet. It's just something that you learn to live with as an event planner. Your to-do list will become something that gets changed over a period of time, and you'll develop a system that works for you. However, what I've found that tends to work really well is I have a master to-do list and then I have a daily to-do list. My master to-do list is usually on my whiteboard by the side of my desk. But my daily to-do list is something that I do at the beginning of each day. So after I've looked at my emails, I then look at the to-do list of things that really need to get done for that day. And you have no idea, or maybe you do, the satisfaction you feel when you actually tick something off of your to-do list. Great feeling. So what else have we got? Goal setting. Goal setting is something else that you need to learn to do, whether it's from an individual point of view, from a team point of view, a company point of view, or even an event point of view. Any event that you plan, you will need to be able to set the goals for that event. For example, the goals can include things like what's the goal of the event? What do they want to achieve from the event? Why do they want to hold the event? Every event has a goal, and it's your job to find that. So goal setting can also be extremely important. Timelines are something else that we're going to look at in this particular unit as well. Now, timelines, again, work for a number of different things, but specifically when you're actually planning an event, you need to be able to put a timeline together for that event. Not just the day of the event and how things are going to run, but the time leading up to the event. Especially if you're going to be involved in the event planning from about 9 months out, you need to actually put together a timeline that shows you from that 9 month out right up to the day of the event, roughly when you want to and when you expect to have things done. That way, it's something that both you and your team and your client can also work to. So it's going to be a fun chapter, and I'm hoping that by the end of this chapter, you're all going to have started to program your minds to think a lot more like I do, to think like an event planner. So have fun, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you on the other side.